Okay, in the last couple of videos, we've shown you how to add checklist items to a user's profile page based on matching results of variables. Now I want to show you a couple of different methods of managing which checklist items happen to be assigned to any particular user. And I want to show you two areas in the system where you can get a view of this. One is over here with this icon, it's candidates management, and then the other one is right below it there, the checklist management. Now if I click on candidates management and I click on manage candidates, I'll get a list of all of the different candidates in the system, and of course I can narrow that list down or search for specific candidates that meet particular criteria with this form over on the right hand side. But if I open up any one of these particular candidates and press edit, it will open up a box where I will see the candidate details and information, and then I will see a whole bunch of different tabs where I can view various types and categories of information as related to the candidate. And one of those tabs is the matching items. And so if I click on that, what that will show me is it will show me a list of the various matching items that a particular candidate has. Let me go to this candidate that I think probably has some matching items. I'll click on that tab, and you can see right here I have 4 different items that are showing up on this particular candidate's profile page on the front side, and I can see what type of item they are, what the date was, and then also more importantly whether they have or haven't been completed. Now one of the nice things here is I can intervene manually in a number of ways from this place. I can, number one, I can click right here and double click, and I could mark this item to completed right from here. That way I could change the status, and that comes in handy from the administrative point of view. The other thing that I can do is I can take an item like this and I could remove it from the candidate's profile page. So now you can see that what happens is it still shows up on my list as an administrator, but it will no longer show up on the user's profile page because it has a status of removed. And so if I ever want to add it back, then I can undo remove. So I just click on it once and press undo remove, and then it would show back up. And the reason why that's handy is that you might have a general workflow that you've created where, for instance, if someone applies for a particular job, there's a whole series of checklist items that are designed to come up to walk them through the steps that it takes to give you all the documentation required. And it could be that you have some slight variable that based on some criteria that you don't want to automate, that they would or would not need to fill out a particular form or something. And so you add that checklist item in, but then you can manually go and remove that item so that it's not part of their process if that criteria is met or something. So that's just an example of how that can work. And then the other thing you can do, which is really handy, is you can add a unique item. And what this does is I can click that, and what I can do now is I can create a checklist item on the fly that is not so much designed to be a matching checklist item, but it's just a specific unique item that is just going to apply this one time to this user. And if I fill out the details here, and let's say if it's a web form or something, I could assign the web form, I can apply that, and the only place that this unique checklist item will ever show up is on this one particular user's profile page. So by doing those two things, I can manually intervene and work with the list by completing or uncompleting items, seeing which items the user has completed, and even adding new and unique items or removing particular items from that user's interface. Now I told you there's a couple of different places where you can see this, and you'll remember that where we're at now is in candidates management, and then we're in the edit candidate details form for any particular candidate. That's where you're going to go to the matching items, and you can see the checklist items that match this user that are showing up on their profile page. But you can also go, and I'm going to minimize this, to the checklist management. And if we open that up and you click on user checklist, you'll see similarly a list of the different users who are in the system as candidates. And I can open any one of these users up from here as well, and I'll double click that same user we were just looking at. And from here you don't get all of the same tabs, but what you get, if you remember, is you get the different tabs where you can manually go in and make assignments to those variables, but you also get your matching items tab, which is really the identical same tab that we just looked at over in candidate management. So here's candidate management, here's checklist management. In either place you can get the matching items tab, and you can do the same exact set of things. You can complete it from here, you can remove a selected item, or you could add a unique item from here. And so that gives you a way to manually utilize the checklist items and manage those on a particular user-to-user basis.